Hello, and welcome to the Caine Interviews. We've got a special show for you today. This time we're on location in eastern Texas. We'll be talking with author Alice Manning, the founder and director of the world-famous ESP Lab. Dr. Manning is the author of many self-help and magic-related books, most of which are available from book retailers across the nation. Dr. Manning, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's talk about the ESP Lab. What is it? In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. That's not easy because it's whatever you want it to be. And you know, the main thing is that make it fun and happy and effective. And I love that word, effective. And we do whatever we need to do to get the job done.
Okay. Well, can you explain to us what ESP is and how it works?
Well, you know, I think it was probably the point that ESP worked in extrasensory perception way back there. And well, we're all born with it, start and then we get educated out of it. And then so how does one say that? It is the information, and of course, ESP includes spirit contact, which is natural. We were born with spirit friends too. And it's as well just to make everything work right. You know, how do you say that? We have our five senses, and then we have another five senses. And those five work better when you have them.
So would the ESP Lab be, to some extent, about relearning the early ESP sensibilities that we were born with?
I think very much so. We've had it educated out of us, you know. And I speak from real experience there.
Okay.
And how can I say that? I graduated from UCLA with a bachelor in science or something in accounting, and Phi Beta Kappa Key and a whole bunch of stuff, and you know, magna cum laude or something. Summa cum laude, actually. Anyway, I worshipped at the altar of my own intellect for a couple of years. And you talk about a sterile altar, that was it. and so I had to learn something. In that same time, I got my CPA certificate. And I learned very quickly that I like people better than numbers. And so that's what, and then it took me 25 years to make the transition. I worked as a CPA in industry and as a CPA in practice. And you know, when you had to make a living, you know, I had kids and stuff like that. At some point, you get to making the transition, and that transition takes a little while. But we have been ESP Lab for 38 years now.
Wow.
And we're getting better and better.
Okay. Well, now the lab has a number of spirit friends, and these are the spirits whose positive energies help keep everything rolling here.
Right.
Could you introduce them to us?
Well, you have to start let's start at the bottom. And then the root chakra is nerve.
Okay.
And that's nice, bright red energy. And it's, what do you say? Regenerative, procreative, all that good stuff. You can't have any sex without nerve.
Okay.
Okay. And then the next one, we call it the spleen center. And that's our good buddy. Who is that? Anyway. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of books there. But anyway, the idea of the spleen center is that bright orange light that clears the mind for thinking. So it's clear thinking, and that's the key. I shouldn't do that, but anyway, go ahead. And then the next one is the solar plexus center, and that is the seat of intuition, and that belongs to the stuff, and absolutely magnificent stuff from that, and that's effectiveness. How can I say that? I've had many a time. I've had a job that looked like it was going to take 10 or 12 hours. And I've asked this time for help and we tuned in. And I got it done in 2 or 3 hours.
Right, okay.
And that's the way I like things,
So each of the spirit friends is associated with a chakra, or with the light, and also with the light that radiates
That's
from
right,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we call them energy transformer personalities, or
Okay.
but in one of my books I call them energy transformer personalities. But to me, they're people that just as real as you are sitting here. And maybe more so because I don't know you that well.
Okay. And you know them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the heart center. You talk about Father, Mother, God, and Pan is the Father Spirit. And then Marduk, the bright blue light, is for breaking up negativity. And it works beautifully. And we use a lot of chanting and stuff along with that. Anyway, I have been known to use Marduk's light that way as like in Thor's thunderbolts. And you throw it, that's a negative situation.
Okay.
The trouble with that is sometimes it blows up and makes a mess. So, yeah, I have learned to tone that down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, of course, the brow chakra is Bob, and he's a good buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is the psychic stuff.
All right.
He works on all kinds of psychic levels, and then it helps. And then there's the crown chakra, which is bad. And she's my spirit lover, by the way.
Okay.
Another one. I have 2 spirit lovers, but she's one of them. And it is pure, beautiful spiritual life. And then, of course, at the top of the head is Isis, Mama Isis. And we play with her a lot. We love to go up our moonbeam and sit in her loving arms and do like Colette from up with us. And it's a fun way to go. And I don't know how to say that. These people are much more real to me than almost anybody you meet on the street, to say the least.
Well, you've worked with them for quite a long time.
For a long time. And they're fun. I'm still trying to remember who that guy is with an orange flame.
Oh, well, I couldn't remember it either.
You can use nose.
Oh, that's right.
And he's the one for the clear thinking, right?
That's right.
Okay. The one you can't remember and
Yes,
just
for the
clear
clear
thinking.
thinking.
Okay.
It's not around right now.
That's well done.
Let's see. Well, does Puck figure in?
Oh, yeah, Puck is a brother, and they have a family Puck play together. And they will often tease about who gets to have sex with the most men.
Okay.
but Puck is the sense of humor. And without the sense of humor, there's no sense in any of this.
Right, and we're gonna talk about humor in just a little bit. And but first, I want to ask, what are the Astral Lab and the Astral Coven?
Well, now we how do you say that? We found out there's a lot of people around the world that they can't travel to a meeting. And it was in Los Angeles originally, now in Texas. And so we established the two ideas that Astral coven is kind of fun. We'll do the ritual wherever anybody happens to be, and then when they go to bed, they program themselves to come and repeat it with us all together at Astral coven. And Astral lab is more fun. Of course, now this is my favorite thing. There has to be the vestibule, like going into a clean room, you know. And so the thing is, no caring, no doubts, fears, or discouragement, no impatience, frustration, or resentment, no seriousness. Just fun, love, joy, active blossom, and enthusiastic serenity, which is one of my favorite stupid words, stupid terms. But you know, enthusiastic serenity works. You'd be amazed with how it does work. I used to know a contractor, and I finally got my bedroom finished. But
Okay.
yeah, but then we have our dancing and our fun and our games. How do we do that? Ishtar leads the chanting, while Marduk helps us sing. We're making better magic every single day. With light and love and laughter and spirited fun galore, we're making Suma magic at the Lab evermore.
Great. Okay.
You know I can't sing.
That's wonderful. Now, you offer a number of products and services to the general public and, of course, to the members of the ESP lab. So I want to look at some of the services that you offer, and you have a 7-day candle ritual. Can you tell us how that works?
Yeah, now, you know, all of this happened for me. And when I figured out how to make it work, then I could share it. And the candle ritual is just the same way. You put the request under the candle and light it, and the 7-day candle, you know the thinking, the 7-day candle. Okay. And then you chant over it quite regularly. And how can I say this now? With all of these, we used to do it with the prophets. But when I had to leave California, we didn't have room for all that nonsense. So we had to do it on the Astral. And it works better. Okay. The Astral is quite an interesting situation. And whether it's a candle ritual, the attention treatment, or something else, we do it with spirit. And we can run it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we get doggone good results.
Okay. I want to ask about your electropsionic treatment, and from your description, your picture and or thought form request is ritually set up in our latest suitable electropsionic energy device, regularly chanted over and petted by Al.
I like that.
So let's stop there and let's talk about petted by Al. How does that work?
I do that too. Why not? You know, you pet your cat, you pet your dog, you pet your pet farm. And the electrosonic thing is most interesting. We did this with a whole bunch of magnets and stuff, and we still do, but not on the physical, but now on the astral. And we get better results than we used to when we do it on the physical.
Wow. Okay. So what is the magnetopsionic treatment?
Now, that's the one. That can be dangerous. And I try to tell people, be sure this is what you want. Because when we get it, you can't get rid of it. You know, well, that's always back to be careful what you pray for. You might get it. But this is very serious. That using the magnets that way, well, it binds things too. They're very, very, very difficult to get through. But if it's what you want, grab it and run.
Okay, and let's talk about the super magneto psionic treatment.
You could have smelled that coming.
Yeah, so this is the blockbuster, right? This is for a tough case.
This is the wild one, but you know, we have had some of the most fantastic results you might imagine, you know. Well, I have on my wall in there, I have a $750,000 government check, a copy of it, you know, that we got for a guy, and stuff like that. It's for the biggies.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on how much I think is a biggie.
Yeah. And I suppose that's all relative. What constitutes a biggie for one person
That's right.
may not be for another.
Well, yeah. If you want to win the lottery, that's harder.
Mhm, yeah. And so all of these various services that you have come with the special power spot treatment. What is that?
Well, now, you dowse for that. Yeah, I've been a dowser for many years, but I dowse for a spot in the backyard, and that's where we do that kind of thing. Well, how can I say that? I dowse for it in the backyard, but we do it on the Astral.
Okay.
And you know, a lot of that stuff doesn't make any sense, but it works.
Okay. Well, results are the main thing here.
Yeah. And, you know,
Keyword, yes, results is the
we
keyword.
have the power spot water. Now, you fill a jug of water, and you put it on the power spot, and you sand over it,
Mm-hmm.
and you leave it there for a week or two, and then you bring it back, and it's ready. And it lasts indefinitely.
Okay. And so the power spot treatment has to do with the water that's been...
To some extent, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's like when we're talking about psychic surgery. We do it from the Astral,
Okay.
and you know, there have been all kinds of things about psychic surgery. They had that stuff in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't Joe Pine, but somebody like that brought on a fake. To fake it, and you know, it couldn't do it. Well, in my experience, I met a lady and her husband who had been to the Philippines and had the psychic surgery. And when she got back, she still had breast cancer. So, you know, it didn't help them. Well,
Mm-hmm.
so, but we don't like the showmanship angle. We go for results and not instant results. If it takes 2 weeks or a month or two, okay, as long as we win.
Now, you also occasionally do personalized psychic readings via cassette tape.
Yeah.
So in this case, would somebody like describe their situation to you via mail or phone, and then you send them back a cassette with your reading on it?
Yeah, we do that. After all these years, I still don't like it, but I do it. And people keep ordering them, so I guess I must do it. How can I say something like that?
Well, if people are,
You do all right with those.
well, if people are ordering them,
Yeah.
and if you have repeat
Yeah.
customers in particular,
Yeah,
then
we
you're
got-
doing all right.
Yeah. I have one guy in Seychelles, in the Indian Ocean, and
Very active member.
he demands a reading every 3 months.
Wow. Okay. Now, all right, we've talked about a few of your many services. Let's talk about your products. Now, you have gemstones, anointing oils,
Oh, yeah.
incense, and other goodies available.
And
Yes, so of these, which is your most popular product?
well, I don't know. In all honesty, I wouldn't be able to say what's the most popular product, but they're all fun, and they're products, you know, and I don't use much of that stuff anymore, but everything that's on that list, I got for me, and made it work, and then shared it. and then a lot of the clouds got kind of outgrown, so to speak, you know, because we did all on the astral, and you know, the oils and the incenses and stuff. Well, my wife is allergic to smoke, so we can't use the incenses in the house anymore, and things like that. But they still work, and I guess probably the best example I can give you is a lady flew down from Canada to see me in Los Angeles, and we set up an exorcism for her. She had hated her husband for 25 years, and then she was so glad when he died, but it was worse because he got tough about chasing off her boyfriends. But anyway, well, you got to talk to it like it is. Well, she flew down, and we did this one full-blown exorcism, and she left, and she called me when she got back to Canada and said, "It's nice, he's gone." She called me every 6 months and said, "It's wonderful, he's gone." and I like that. Of course, we had another one of those where the spirit, and we had the circle with the two circles and all, but anyway, the spirit that was bothering this guy was his own damn fault. He should not have done some of that stuff from the Great Seal of Solomon, but that's beside the point.
Right.
That the spirit threw him around, I mean, in the chair, and bounced off the sides of the circle, but he couldn't get out of it. And you know, and at one point, he offered to take me instead. And I laughed at him, said, "I'm sorry, I can't accept your gift." You know? And pretty soon we won, and the guy was gone. But he went back to the Great Seal of Solomon and got back again.
Oh.
And so we did it again. And I said, "Now, if you do this anymore, I ain't going to work on it."
Right.
But you know, it works. You have to know what you're doing.
So you get a lot of requests for your products and services?
A reasonable amount, yeah.
Okay. Keeps you busy?
Yeah, I'm lazy by now.
As busy as he wants to be. And that's 8 days a week. He just really...
Well, normally I start at 4:30 in the morning, and I start on the computer handling the emails, and well, I get a shower somewhere once a week, stuff like that, but and then about 2 o'clock, I get a nap,
Okay.
and then we see what the hell else is going on.
Now, there's a lot of focus on light in your words.
Oh, very much so.
Okay. For instance, you have the free online correspondence course on light and its healing
yeah.
positive aspects.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about light and its beneficial properties?
Yeah, well, I want to start about, God must be 50 years ago by now. You might call it a dream, whatever you want, the astral experience, but there was total blackness. But I knew I was in something like a coliseum with all sorts of people. And all of a sudden, there came a shaft of bright white light. And of course, this one was fun. It was, it said something like that him whose eye is single lifts himself up and reveal God. Well, that started me on my quest. I, you know, in that experience, I had the ability to levitate, and I had a strength over my arm. But anyway, I came back and I said to my wife, I'm going to fill the Hollywood Bowl and levitate with this stuff. But of course, it didn't work that way. But you had to go looking, and that was really the beginning of my quest. And the light has been the absolute source of everything to me from then on.
Now, you've authored over 20 self-help books.
Yeah,
and
40 some of it, yeah.
And some of which are behind us. Is there any recurrent theme in your books regarding how people can help themselves?
Yeah, well, they're all helping themselves, but how can I say that? When I was writing for Prentice Hall, which I did for my first 9 books, they had this theory that if you're not if you're not serious enough, nobody will pay any attention to it. And so they cut off my humor. And I had an awful time trying to get the humor into it. Like with the White Witchcraft to this day. When I autograph that book, I say, make it fun.
Well, we remember things that we laugh about or enjoy better than negative things. We just naturally learn from positive, respond to positive things. So it's very beneficial to stay positive.
Well, my favorite song of all time was Johnny Mercer's "You Gotta Accentuate the Positive."
Right.
And there was a time when that happened. I was barreling down the freeway in Los Angeles, and it was a whole bunch of nonsense. But anyway, all of a sudden, my car radio came on. It came on by itself, and it was playing. You got to accentuate the positive, and I got the message. I slowed down and relaxed, and got the job done.
I should mention at this point that we are also being joined here by Virginia Manning, and she's not. Now she's on camera with us.
I'm still in the learning mode, and I'm really having a lot of fun.
And but I just wanted to mention that she's here with us on the program, and as is Jacob, our lovely cameraman. So, all right. Now, your lab has members from all over the world. Approximately how many members do you have?
Oh, I'd say in round figures, an even 1,000.
Okay.
And from South Africa, Nigeria, Seychelles, and Venezuela.
Our South African member calls us every day.
Wow.
That's something.
Not quite every day, but almost.
Wow. Okay. What kind of people join the ESP? Like, do you have folks from all walks of life?
Yeah. I might think we're all nuts.
Okay.
He's having too much fun.
I don't know a better way to say that. You have to be open-minded.
Right.
And people ask me what my religion is, and when years ago I said I'm half spiritualist and half Zen Buddhist, but now I just say, oh, I'm an eclectic. It all works.
Okay. And I was going to ask you a question about eclecticism, which I'll just bring up now. As far as an occult type of influence, would your influence be more paganism or ceremonial magic, or just an eclectic blend of everything?
You know, I want to give you my favorite answer. Yes. Because we're into everything, and you could call me a Vedantist, or as in Buddhist particularly, or Shinto, or Christian, or Islam. How do you say that? The Judeo-Christian complex is inseparable. And I think we're all Jewish somewhere back here.
Well, he says they all blend together, and if you look at it, they do. Their way of expressing it is different, but really all of the religions blend together.
And I think you could take what you would see as the better aspects of each of the religions and make them work together in harmony.
That's what we try to do. That's
Okay.
right.
And maybe some people, maybe if someone were raised, say, Roman Catholic, they would not feel comfortable with certain types of
Well,
worldviews.
now we have quite a few Roman Catholics, and very few Baptists.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just kidding me. You don't know.
Well, it comes back to your earlier statement of being part of this ESP lab involves opening one's mind to some extent.
Absolutely.
New spiritual experiences, whatever they may be.
Yeah, and without an open mind, there's no hope for you anyway.
Right. Okay. Now, how does one join the ESP labs?
Well, now we send them a free packet, and there's a membership form in there, and if they want to join, it costs them $2.
$2. Okay. Same price since the beginning, I suppose. You kept your prices.
That's right.
Kept it reasonable for everyone.
Yeah, we want to make it within the reach of everybody.
Right.
And then, the special services cost extra. But we want to be available everywhere.
Okay. Let's go back to the earlier days of your spiritual career. How did you get started on the path? Now you mentioned the vision that you
The
had.
vision of the light. Yeah.
But how did you meet the lab spirits?
Well, I don't know.
Did they just come knocking one day?
No, well, now, you study, and again, I'm an eclectic, and the spirits that we use on the chakras come from several different religions and magicians from magical places. Well, there was a time when I preferred to use Osiris, but Pan is the same thing, and Pan's more fun, and he likes to play as Pan, not as Osiris, and things like that as we go along. So we evolved it as we went. I got 2, 3, 4 books on that.
Okay. So you have the lab spirits, and they worked really well for you and for many others.
And for many others.
But who are these spirits? Are they real, living, breathing entities, or are they would you say they're manifestations of your own psyche?
Well, now, let me take baths for instance. I shower with baths every morning.
Okay.
And it's a very lovely, lovely, sensitive situation. And if that's not real and living, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I don't invite the rest of them into my shower, but they are that real.
Okay. So they walk beside you in the course of your daily activities, just as a person would.
Yeah, and I never leave the house in the car without asking for the protection and help from Ishtar and Caine. And they do a marvelous job.
Okay. Now, do you feel that most people would find these lab spirits beneficial, or would they be better served by discovering their own spirits?
Well, now, I'd like to say again, yes. They need their special spirit that they can meet, but if they use my USB book, they meet immediately. But these special spirits are most helpful. Again, I'm an eclectic. I like it all.
Well, now, some people believe that spirit contact is very dangerous. Obviously, you don't take that viewpoint. Why?
Look, very simply, if you're in a real bad mood, don't try it.
Okay.
If you're in a nice, positive mood, spirit contact is beautiful. And why should you be in anything else anyway? You stay positive, and it's all beautiful, and there's no danger. If you're in a real bad mood, you're liable to get hooked up with something that's not all that friendly.
Okay. And so a lot of it depends on your frame of mind when you do a magical working.
Oh, by all means, yeah.
Okay.
And as I try to stress all the way through my work, make it fun for spirit and it'll work. You know, I always like to quote Caine's motto there: if I can't have a good time, I ain't going.
Okay. Well, that would just be a wonderful maxim for life in general.
I think so, and I practice it too.
Now, back to the humor. One hallmark of your writings is this positive, upbeat tone that you have. Now, some magical works that you'll encounter are extremely serious
And that's their problem.
devoid of humor. So, how have you managed to keep your sense of humor all these years?
Well, I don't think you can live any other way. It's back to, man is right. If I can't have a good time, I ain't going.
Okay. Well, that would seem to settle it.
I think it does. Why would you want to have a bad mood? Or, and particularly, why would you want to get serious? Yeah, I told you, we have this the clean room type thing with, and no seriousness is one of the keys.
Okay.
And if you get serious, that means you're scared you can't have it.
Oh.
So that's a very important point.
Yeah, and that's a very important premise. If you're too serious, you're scared you can't have it. So, to hell with the seriousness. Get rid of it, make it fun, and it'll work.
Okay. Now, you've mentioned your eclecticism, and I just want to come back specifically to Christianity. Does it have a part in your supernatural worldview?
Oh, yeah. You can't help it. And read the Bible. There's spirit contact, there's ESP, and my favorite one still is when Jesus meets that lady at the well and tells her, you know, you've had 5 husbands, and the guy you're living with now is not married to you, and he'd never met her before. That's better than the other one, although the Israelite with no guile. But there's mediumship, spirit contact, and medium all the way through the Bible. And so why not enjoy that part too?
Okay, so you feel that Jesus had a certain amount of mediumistic
Oh, very
talent.
definitely. So, you know, I think historically there have been 35 avatars or more, and yeah, most of them born in a cave surrounded by animals, but that's the astrological allegory, you know. And why shouldn't we accept them all? I mean, I'm as good of a dentist as I am a Christian.
Okay, now, what did you do before the ESP lab? Before entering the wonderful world of magic, what kind of day job did you have?
I was a certified public accountant.
Okay, so this is a pretty big lead.
Well, yeah, it took me about 25 years. I graduated from UCLA and got my CPA certificate and stuff like that there. And very quickly I realized that I didn't like numbers, I preferred people.
Right.
But it took about 25 years to make the transition to where, you know, it was part and part for a long time.
Now, of all these books that you've written, what has turned out to be the bestseller for you?
Well, the bestseller, I think without question, is Helping Yourself with White Witchcraft. And the second best is the Helping Yourself with ESP. And both of those now, I think they used to belong to Parker, from French Hall, but they sold it to Penguin.
Okay, so they're Penguin editions.
And Penguin is doing a better marketing job than French Hall was doing.
Okay, so these, roughly when were those written?
Well,
What decade?
Helping Yourself with ESP was, I think, 1964 or something like that.
I think so.
And the White Witchcraft book, I think, came out in 72.
Okay, and those are still selling?
Well, Penguin is doing a nice marketing job. I got a pretty friendly royalty check the other day.
Oh, nice, okay. Now, among all the volumes you've written, or the various endeavors that you've entered into, do you have a favorite book or project?
No, always.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, your golden key to success. I wrote to heckle the people at the Institute of, what was it, anyway, a bunch of kind of a stuffy bunch of people in metaphysics.
Oh.
And that's where I introduced the white unicorn too, I think. But then my total favorite is my white unicorn.
Okay, let's talk about that for just a moment. White unicorn. How did this come about? Tell us about the white unicorn. And by the way, where we're conducting this interview, there's a white unicorn figurine in the front yard.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
too dark. It's too dark now for us to show it to you, but it's wonderful.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first things I did when I moved here, was to get that. And of course, you had to make the horn, but that's another story. But the unicorn is the most magical of all mythical creatures, if you will. But I had more fun with mine. I was in a class in LA many years ago, and I manifested there, and I said, I think I'm going to ride you home. And he said, no, I'm going to ride you home. And he hopped up and got little tiny and perched on my shoulder.
Okay.
But it's that kind of reality to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So you had the white unicorn riding you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now you've been doing all this for quite a while, for decades, in fact.
38 years.
We've already talked about the white unicorn, but in all your dealings with magic and spirits, let's look at the weirdest and the most wonderful things that have happened to you.
I think they're probably the same.
Okay.
But yeah, I like to talk about my other spirit lover, Tara Casa. That's the really personal spirit lover. And she's in my shower along with Bath in the morning. But that's beside the point. But there was a time when she materialized, and well, of course she did several things, but she materialized in my living room, or in my library, and was beckoning me to come for a big hug, and I'd get there and get a handful of air. But she was teaching me dimension shift. It took a while for that to sink in. Ishtar tried to teach me that 20 years earlier, and that didn't work either. But I understand dimension shift now, and we use it. And this is why I can appear in like 72 places at the same time, because you're changing the dimension. I don't know whether you call that weird or strange or something, but I love it because I don't always remember details of some of these things when I'm in 72 places at the same time, but it's fun. And the people that I visit remember me, and that counts. And of course, there was a time when Cara Costa danced on my altar, and I had candles and all sorts of stuff, and without, Astrally, didn't touch a thing. And then she hopped outside and danced on the window from outside.
Oh.
And it's so much is spirit contact. And I have to go back 40, 50 years somewhere. You remember the old program, when one step beyond? It's way before your time, I'm
But I've heard.
Yeah, but they had one where the lady was killed, and she projected to her husband and had him come back and rescue the kid. Okay. Well, anyway, it was kind of a moving thing. And right after that, I went into my little room that I had set up with the altar and asked for spirit contact. That was the first time that Cara Casa contacted me. The hand came on my shoulder, just as strong. You can feel that there. And of course, how do you say that? The hair stood out on the back of my neck. Mm-hmm. And I got that urge to run, and she laughed and said, "Where are you going to run?" And that was my real introduction to spirit contact.
Wow. Okay, we're coming down toward the end of the interview, and I'm wondering if there's anything else that either of you would like to say to the viewing audience. Do you have any parting shots?
Well, I just say, make it fun. How did that fellow say that? No. You're not going to get out of this life anyway, alive, so make it fun.
Okay. Okay, well, we've been talking with Al G. Manning, the founder of the Texas ESP Lab and noted author, and thanks so much for being on the show, both of you.
It's
And we've been with
fun.
Virginia Manning, and what a great interview. This has just been fun.
What did you say?
Wow.
You put that extra
Okay.
camera on me.
Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm Shannon Caine, and I'll see you next time here on the Caine Interviews. Catch you later.